Hello, everyone. We're going to have some visuals today from the announcer's booth as we originally planned to go with this game and do it on FAUOwlradio.com. However, we had to do it on here. We had some tech issues, and it wouldn't be FAU Owl Radio without it. So
we're consistent about one thing at least.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are here from FAU Stadium, Howard Schnellenberger Field at FAU Stadium in Boca Raton, Florida. FAU up 10-7. Clock ticking, 4:20 and down, and Kosi Perry with the QB carry rushes for about 2 or 3 yards, maybe 4, and it'll be second down. So we'll just give you a quick rundown here on the game so far. And Jacob, you've actually been paying attention more than I have because I've been trying to fix everything. You've been knowing what's going on, so let's give an update.
I've been trying my best to keep up so far. And right off the bat, Marshall takes the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Very first play of the game. FAU responds equally with a touchdown. I wasn't paying attention.
And Kosi Perry airs out the pass, and that pass is going to land inbounds and complete.
I wasn't paying attention enough to tell you exactly what happened, but FAU scored a touchdown. The next Marshall drive, they come down our in red zone, but when the FAU quarterbacks picks it off, takes it back to roughly the 50-yard line or so. That drive ultimately ends in a field goal, which leaves us to where we are now. FAU is up 10-7, 3 minutes, 44 seconds left. FAU is currently driving with the ball on the Marshall 38-yard line. It's third down and 6, 3 minutes, 44 left to go in the first quarter.
FAU has the ball on the 38, on Marshall's 38. Third down and 6, 3 minutes, 44 seconds left in the first quarter. Perry airs it out, and that's going to go out of bounds and complete, and it's going to be fourth down. So FAU not able to put up points on this drive, and we're going to see if they go for it here. It's 4th and 6, and Jacob, what would you do here?
I'd at least try to go for a fake. You're in kind of an awkward situation. Ball on the 38-yard line, as we just said. Probably just outside the range of Aaron Shariari's field goal range, who did just come in and kick his furthest field goal of the year so far. But as we see the punt coming out here, and it looks like that coaching staff is going to trust the defense and try to pin this Marshall offense deep back in its own territory.
Excuse us while we're not going to be a punt.
Excuse us while we're both on our phones here. We're trying to let the rest of you guys know that what we're doing here. So the punt was downed at the Marshall 8-yard line. There's 3 minutes, 28 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Marshall coming out to start their drive.
Ten to 7 FAU, 3 minutes, 28 seconds left on the clock. Marshall starting with the ball on the 8. Hand off to the running back. He runs and gets stuffed right away. Maybe a gain of about 1 or 2, and it'll be second down.
Great job by the FAU defensive line to come over and help the right side of the line. The Marshall offensive line was not able to establish a line of scrimmage there at all, and ultimately led to a loss of 1 yard on the first play, setting up a 2nd and 11.
Hand off again. Oh, no, play action, and the pass is dropped. It was going to be a little pass, a little screen pass route, and not caught. So 3rd and 9, now with 2 minutes, 52 seconds left in the first quarter. And the crowd getting loud here at FAU Stadium in Boca.
This crowd, nearly double in size from the crowd last week, hopes to become a big part of this game, putting pressure on the Marshall offense. Marshall with a strong start of this game. However, outside that first kickoff, they have not produced too much.
3rd and 9. Drop back pass is deflected by number 28, Jamarcus Johnson. And a great play by, it was either him or Romaine Mungan, one of the two. They got the pass deflection there. It's going to be 4th and 9, and Marshall's going to be forced to punt.
Great play there. Initially, the receiver got his man beat, but the defense had enough time to recover. The defensive line did a good job of keeping Marshall's quarterback Reynolds within his pocket on the corner there with enough time to recover. 4 and out, great decision to punt it is rewarded by the defense coming up here and getting a stop.
4th and 9. The punt out of the 45 on FAU's 45. Trying to run with it was Wester. He couldn't really get anywhere, and the FAU is going to start on their side of the field, just close to the 50. And we'll see they marked it at the 48. So now 2 minutes and 36 seconds left in the first quarter. 10-7 Owls over the Thundering Herd. FAU today with 141 total yards. Marshall with 59. And, of course, so we didn't get to broadcast the initial minutes of this game. So Marshall led off this game with a kick return for a touchdown on the first play of the game. They went up 7-0, and then FAU ended up tying it, going up 10-7 with a field goal. But that's how the game starts. That's why their offense doesn't look as great because that kick return. So now FAU the ball ended up gut, and James Charles with a gain of a few, and it'll be second down.
On these last couple of drives, there's been a revolving door at running back. Early in the first drive, running back Johnny Ford, who's had a great start of the season for us, a great game last week with a 93-yard on the ground, a touchdown. James Charles is currently in there in the backfield.
Up the gut again and spun around and tackled down near the 40. We'll see if they give him the first down.
Looks to be just short.
Third down and 1, ball on the 44. Hand off to Charles, runs up left side, and he's going to push through for a first down.
This offensive line has done a great job allowing the Owls to establish the run game. Johnny Ford's gone out of the game. However, whoever's been in the backfield, it hasn't mattered. They've been able to consistently pick up 5 or 6 yards of carry. Cozy Perry on our second drive had a nice 40-yard rush to the outside. So far, and Cozy's jersey's clean, and the running backs are getting what they want.
Clock ticking. Hand off again. Run to the right. And a gain of probably about 2 or 3 as a bunch of people were in a huddle tackling, and he is brought down. So now it's going to be second down and probably about 2nd and 6. They gave him 4 yards.
That was a good carry. We got a little bit of a benefit on that one. I thought he was stopped a little short on that, but setting up 2nd and 6 here. Right back roughly where we were, where we punted the ball, driving now with less than a minute left in this first quarter.
2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Clock ticking from 45. Play action play. Perry gets sacked. 3 Marshall defenders swarm Perry in the pocket. He's brought down. And what went down there, Jacob?
As I was just giving credit to that FAU offensive line, it was a huge lapse in ability there. 3 Marshall defenders were easily able to get to the quarterback, and he had no time back there in his pocket.
3rd and 14. FAU ready to go. Ball on the other side of the field now at the 44. Clock ticking, first quarter about to end. This will probably be the last play, if not second to last play of the quarter. Perry looking over at the sidelines. Clock now at 7 and ticking. 5, 4. Looks like they're going to run the clock out, and they will. That'll end the first quarter. So FAU up 10-7 after 1 quarter. We'll be right back here on FAU Owl Radio and YouTube here on the Strictly Productions YouTube channel. We're just going to mute the mic. The video feed will stay on. We'll be right back. We are back here on FAUL Radio, YouTube live stream on my Strictly Sports Productions YouTube channel. This was not the original plan. We will make that clear, but it is 3rd and 14. Ball on the 44. Ball handed off to Charles, who breaks free, and he's going to get the first down. Cuts in and gets tackled around the 25-yard line. It was a 3rd and 14. Thought he was going to get stuffed, and then he ends up breaking tackles and gains about 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, that was a play clear that FAU did not want to take too many chances of the ball there, but it ended up being a great halfback draw that got a good 15 yards and ultimately enough for the first down.
2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. And he hands off again. Charles spins around and gets tackled, probably for a loss or maybe nothing, one of the two. Second down.
It did look like that. He had 1 man to be on the outside there. Ultimately, the corner made a great open field tackle, stopping James Charles to a gain of inches, if that.
Two receivers out to the right, 2 to the left. Charles in behind. And run up and tackle for a short gain. It's 3rd down. Clock ticking, 13:45. Both teams, actually, FAU with 2 timeouts remaining, Marshall with 3. Perry throws, fires, end zone, and that ball's going to be out of bounds. Saw that play a little late. That's my bad. And
possible could have been a rough with the passer there. The edge got to the Nicosia a little late there on the tackle, but it's going to result in a 4th down and 7 for FAU with the kicking team coming back onto the field.
So at least FAU will be able to say that they can get some points out of this drive, and if they execute, of course. And now
every single one of the FAU drives up to this point has at least crossed the halfway mark on the field. This will be Aaron's 2nd season high for this game, and it's good. Aaron Shahariari setting his season high of a 38-yard field goal to put FAU up 13-7 with 13 minutes, 31 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, so like we were saying, it was great to see FAU get some points out of this drive, and now with 13 minutes, 31 seconds left to go, FAU up 13-7. And Jacob Kelly, you're going to get the 2nd and 3rd quarter of play-by-play. I'll take over for the 4th, and here we go. Let's keep going.
Sounds good. This FAU offense has been humming so far. It'd be really a shame if Johnny Ford was not able to return this game. To the first quarter alone, 5 carries for 72 yards. Huge performance on the game so far. Cozy Perry sitting at 2 for 4, 34 yards. That singular touchdown he had the first drive of the game. Now we have Aaron Shahariari back on the kick from his own 35-yard line. Number 2, Jaden Harrison, the wide receiver, the redshirt sophomore out of Antioch, Tennessee, deep back to return the kick. And the kick is deep, and it's another short kick that is going to be fair caught on the 24-yard line. That was the short return man, tight end number 12, Garrett Morrell, the redshirt sophomore out of Leesburg, Georgia, with the catch there. FAU, with their 2nd kickoff in a row that's been kicked slightly short, not wanting to test the coverage again after that first kickoff to take the score to 7-0 to begin the game.
Absolutely, and this is going to be a big drive for the FAU defense after spreading the lead to 6. Now the situation where you fouled Marshall, who we talked about before the game, and when we thought we were on Al Radio, we were talking about it. Marshall is one of the best offenses in college football. So this is to hold them to 59 yards, only 7 points in that first quarter. They weren't moving the ball too well, so let's see what they do here in the second quarter.
And now Grant Welsh lines up shotgun formation. His tight end, number 12, the same that just caught it on the kickoff there, Garrett Morrell, hurdles the man, gets out to the Marshall 33-yard line. Garrett Wells lining up shotgun formation, 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. His running back in the backfield Rashad Ali fakes it to him, looks right, hits his receiver, hits him in the hands, but ultimate pass is dropped, going to bring you up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and that's one of those you got to catch right in the numbers on the chest and in and out of the hands.
So this is going to bring up a 3rd down and 2. FAU can stop them, get their 3 and out. 13 minutes, 7 seconds left to go on the clock. FAU is up 13-7. Marshall currently on their own 33-yard line. Snaps the ball, shotgun formation, hands the ball up the middle, and with a good offensive line push, Marshall picks up the 1st down.
And that's exactly what you said, Jacob. That offensive line pushed him into that 1st down. He was kind of stuffed initially, and that offensive line, all of them, right behind him, pushed him over for that 1st down.
Rashad Ali ultimately would have been stopped for about a 1 or 2 yard gain. Would have looked like he would have been short for the 1st down, but the big boys up front really helped him get over the line. Now Grant Wells lining up shotgun formation, 3 receivers to his right, including Rashad Ali. Snaps the ball, looks to the right, hits his receiver over the middle for another 1st down.
Yeah, and you can kind of read that route from the beginning. It looked initially like he was going to be the one that was going to be targeted. He stopped pretty early. All 3 FAU defenders froze. He was wide open.
Yeah, FAU got caught in zone coverage there. Just found the open spot, hit the receiver, a nice 13-yard gain on the play, taking them out to the 50-yard line. Grant Wells line up shotgun again with his running back Ali next on his left, receiver in motion over to the left, hands it off to his running back Ali, who gets the corner, gets outside to the right, and gets a nice 14-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, and 2 missed tackles there by FAU. Could have brought him down twice.
Great blocking there up front by this Marshall offensive line to allow their running back to get to the outside and gain another 1st down. This has been 3 1st downs on 3 consecutive plays.
And this is what we were talking about. Marshall moves the ball, and you had a chance there on that 3rd down, and this gave them new life. As
Grant Wells snaps the ball, shotgun formation. There is a penalty on the play. There's an FAU helmet that's been taken off, so I can't imagine that being a foul against FAU. We'll see what this call is here. Okay, that's going to be a personal foul, hands to the face on Marshall. I didn't catch who that was on, but that's going to be a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. That's going to give a 1st and 25 from the 45-yard line. So a very, very poor decision by this Marshall defensive or offensive lineman, putting his hand underneath the face mask, ripping it off of the FAU defender's head.
That was ripping off Jalen Joyner, defensive end. And listen, I mean, you're gaining all that momentum offensively. Then that happens. You're brought back. We'll see. 1st and 25.
Grant Wells, shotgun formation, looks right, immediately hits his receiver to the right, and is stopped for about a gain of 5. That was that was tight end number 11, Xavier Gaines, on the 5-yard reception.
Doesn't hurt the FAU defense that much. 2nd and 20, short gain.
Xavier Gaines is the 2nd leading receiver from this Marshall offense. So outside of their top receiver, Corey Gammage, Xavier Gaines is the next sharpest weapon for this Marshall offense. Now, in shotgun formation, Grant Wells snaps the ball again, looks over to his right, and again hits his receiver. That was number 1, Willie Johnson catch to set up a 3rd down and 13.
Yeah, now you're starting to see some holes in that FAU defense. Receivers are starting to get open. Coverage is getting a little bit lax. FAU needs to be more aggressive here.
Marshall 13 yards from the 1st down as the night has descended onto us. FAU has a huge 3rd down situation here where they can get the ball back. Grant Wells, shotgun formation, snaps the ball, looks over the middle, looks to his left, has a receiver, hits his receiver for a huge gain. That's his wide receiver, number 7, his leading receiver, Corey Gammage, brings Marshall all the way down to the FAU 10-yard line.
And that was against Romaine Mungan, one of the best corners on FAU's defense. He was on him, too. There was no separation there. That was a great job by the receiver, out-strengthening.
Now Rashid Ali up the middle for a gain of 2. It looks like we have 2 penalty flags down, 3 penalty flags down on the play. So interesting to see where this is going to go. But as you were saying, it was perfect, almost perfect coverage by the FAU corner there, and it needed just as perfect of a throw to fit it in there. Great throw, great catch to bring them down all the way to the 10-yard line. Now, those flags were for FAU on an illegal substitution there, which is, of course, going to be accepted. And it's going to be first and goal now from the 5-yard line for Marshall.
Now, this is a situation where you're either going to be up 3, potentially, if you don't get a turnover or anything like that, or Marshall could take the lead here. So this is a big swing in the game.
They snap the ball, hands off to his running back out of the backfield, Rashid Ali, for a minimal gain of 2 yards on the play. As I was saying, or I don't believe you guys actually heard what I was saying earlier when I was introducing this Marshall offense. Rashid Ali, coming into this game, coming into Saturday, was the 19th rated rusher in terms of rushing yards in all the country, at 808 yards and 6 touchdowns here. So he is in a goal-to-goal situation looking to pick up his 8th touchdown, while Grant Wells is looking to pick up his 11th touchdown on the season. And the ball again goes to Ali, gets past and is stuffed right on the goal line, and he ultimately gets in for the touchdown.
And where was the defensive line there? There was a total gap on the left side for him, and he essentially just walked in.
Very little stop there from that FAU defensive line, as you just said. Great blocking again up front by this Marshall offensive line. Was stopped on the 1-yard line, but ultimately the fight, the will to get in the end zone prevailed. Marshall's now tied with FAU, looking with the extra point to take a 1-point lead, 13-13, 9:18 left, second quarter. We now have the extra point attempt. It's up, and it's good. So that's going to take Marshall now with a slight lead over FAU, 14-13. 9 minutes, 18 seconds left. But I'm sorry, there's actually a penalty on the play, so we will see what it is.
That'll be one of those back up the kick.
Yes, it was a holding at the end of the day. It's going to back up this extra point attempt by 10 yards, sitting closer to a professional NFL extra point here. The ball is going to be set up on the FAU 15-yard line just by the stance of the offensive lineman. Sorry, it's actually the 13-yard line. Very slightly more difficult, but still quite makeable extra point. The extra point is up, and the second extra point is just as good as the first. Marshall retakes its lead at 14-13 over FAU with 9 minutes, 18 seconds left. So, Jake, since our introduction was heard by none of you, I think it's time to go back over that and reintroduce these two teams.
Yeah, no, let's do this. So FAU coming into this game with a 12-game home winning streak, but Marshall was actually favored in the game itself. They're up right now 14-13 with 9:18 left in the second quarter. But when we were talking about before the game, the reason why is because Marshall's 7-1 against FAU all time. And coming into tonight, Marshall has one of the most loaded offenses in college football. You have the exact rankings here, but you called the game last week. Tell us about what your thoughts were about last week. And now that we've had some football in this game, how have these two games kind of blended into each other?
Well, you've seen a kind of a similar approach from Marshall that UTEP did. The offensive line was one of my keys coming into this game. And so far, Marshall has been slightly superior to FAU on the offensive line. Marshall has a great running attack. They have the 8th rated rusher, being Rashad Ali, coming in here as the 8th overall rusher in yards on the season, sitting at 808 yards before this game started, 7 touchdowns. And equally impressive, their quarterback, Grant Wells, sitting at 2,507 passing yards, 8th in the country, 67% pass completion, and the big number for me is 10. Coming to this game, Grant Wells sitting at 10 touchdowns, 10 interception, 10 sacks. Was really big that FAU get him off his mark, and so far they have intercepted him once. However, the score line still does favor this Marshall team, with FAU now setting up to receive the kick.
And I think FAU's got to keep running the ball. That's been their best way of offense here today. Just keep pounding it, burn the clock off. You want Marshall off the field offensively as much as possible, and that's what you get with the running game. So that's what FAU, I think, should try and do here.
And it's really unfortunate to see Johnny Ford for the second week in a row go down mid-game. So far, I have not seen him come back. I'm trying to look over right now to see if I can see him. However, there's a crowd gathered of the FAU offense. And actually, I can see him I'm not sure if he has his helmet in his hand, but it is going to be interesting to see if Johnny Ford, our easily best rusher on this FAU offense, is able to come back. When he left the game, he already came up 72 rushing yards. It would be a huge difference for this FAU offense if he was not able to come back into this game. Now this FAU offense coming back onto the field with Johnny Ford still on the sidelines. Number 21 running back Kelvin Dean alongside Nkosi Perry in shotgun formation. Snaps the ball, hands it off to Dean, and gets a 5-yard gain on the play.
And interesting news, we don't have official, we do have official confirmation over this, but very odd thing to bring up. So the TV broadcast for this game brought up that Johnny Ford, along with other FAU players, were throwing up, and that some players are not on the sideline. So Ford is not the only one. There may be something going around or going on right now. That's all we know.
That is a really unfortunate, not necessarily injury, but something that would hamper this FAU team. It's one thing to lose a guy from injury, but if there's a bug in the air, there's something in the food, that's really something that you can't account for. It's really unfortunate to see. FAU on the second down play was able to gain 1 yard in the rushing game. Now FAU is going to be setting up 3rd and 4 on their own 31-yard line.
Oh.
And there's flags on the play. Interesting to see who this is going to be on. FAU is pointing at Marshall. Marshall doesn't seem to be fighting back here. And it is going to be against Marshall.
Yeah, number 9 jumped, and it was just a determination of who jumped first.
Yeah, that was number 9 defensive lineman Jamar Edwards with the really poor offsides there. Enough yardage to give FAU the first down. Nkosi Perry now setting up again, shotgun formation. Johnny Ford still on the sidelines. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers on both sides. Snaps the ball, fakes the handoff, looks over the field and hits his receiver, LaJohntay Webster, out to the 50-yard line.
And you can do a play like that when you don't throw a lot. FAU kind of come in with a different look offensively there. They've been running. Now they come in with the pass and get a big bold play.
Out to midfield, 7:42 left on the game clock here. Nkosi lines up shotgun formation. Snaps the ball, looking left the entire way. Has a man open if he hits him, and he just overthrows throw, go out of bounds. Daquan Burton was the target there on the play, bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, and he had spacing. If that ball just been placed a little bit better, that's a tough play to make right there on the sideline. So that, you can't fault Perry for it, but it was a nice route, and now it's 2nd down.
It was good coverage by the Marshall defender there. It would have required a good throw, good catch, ultimately falling short here. Cozy snaps the ball, shotgun formation, hands the ball off, and is held to a short gain on the play. Now that is Larry McCammon with the gain of 3 yards there on the play. This is going to bring up 3rd down and 7. FAU is now crossed the 50-yard line, so they're on the Marshall 47-yard line, setting up 3rd and 7 here. 7 minutes left to go on the game clock. FAU trailing by 1 point against this Marshall team. Cozy shotgun formation, snaps the ball, looks left immediately, had 2 receivers decently open and missed both of them on the play.
I mean, offensive line, great protection there. They gave him time. Like you said, 2 open guys, and he just missed that throw.
He had the time. He had the guys open. It is unfortunate that it's just a missed throw there on the play. Not a situation where you're close enough to go for it or close enough for a field goal. So on comes the kicking team, Matt Hale. The left-footed Australian punter for FAU comes out for the punt. He gets the snap, kicks it deep. It's a good punt and a great coverage on the play. FAU able to down the ball on the 4-yard line where Marshall will be taking over the ball.
And with an offense like Marshall's, hey, if you're going to give them the ball, give it to them in a spot they don't like it in. And they're going to have to start at a disadvantage here.
Great punt on the play. 6 minutes, 37 seconds left to go in this second quarter. Marshall has the lead 14-13. We will be right back.
We are currently on commercial break, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
And we are back. 6 minutes, 37 seconds left to go. Marshall lines up on their own 4-yard line. Grant Wells lines up shotgun formation, looks left, looks to throw the ball, hits his receiver out wide, gets spun around, and is ultimately tackled right at the first down yard line.
FAU's lucky there because they missed the tackle on that receiver. He could have went somewhere, but at least FAU had a few guys in the area who were able to tackle him down, but it could have been ugly.
Very fortunate that he got spun back towards his own end zone rather than towards the FAU end zone, but it is the first down on the play. Grant Wells snaps the ball, hands it off to his running back, and he's upended for a gain of 1 on the play. That was running back Sheldon Evans with the play. Coming into this game, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns on the year. Also utilized in the passing game, sitting at 114 yards. But he is the clear number 2 back in this game for Marshall, with Rasheen Ali getting the bulk loads of the carries. Now Marshall snaps it again. Their quarterback looks deep, doesn't have a man, overthrows his receiver down the flat, overthrows his tight end Xavier Gaines there to bring up a 3rd down.
Yeah, quarterback feeling pressure there. Jalen Joyner was about 2 seconds away from sacking him, and so he was rushed for time, and that's what happens.
Great pressure, as you said, by that defensive lineman there, bringing up a 3rd down and 9, really close to the Marshall end zone. Not much leeway here. Be a great 3-and-out again by this FAU defense. Grant Wells, shotgun formation. Ali alongside the receiver is right. Looks right. Decides to run it. It looked like it was a clear designed quarterback run. Ultimately, a loss of 3. Huge 3rd down stop for the FAU defense.
Not only did they put the ball back, not get much space, they didn't move the ball at all. Big confidence boost for this FAU defense, as there's now 5 minutes and ticking before the first half ends. Now what FAU needs to do, get that lead. Even if it's a field goal, get something before you leave this football field for halftime.
And we know that FAU has produced really well in the second half here throughout the season. If they can keep this game close, if they can even go into halftime with a lead, it'd be great for this team. LeJontay Webster sets up on his own 45-yard up. He calls for a fair catch and catches the ball on his own 42-yard line, where FAU will come back out on offense. 4 minutes, 46 seconds left in this second quarter. Marshall still up by that 1 point, 14-13. Now we see Johnny Ford there down in the huddle with his team. We understand that he's sick, and hopefully he can power through. And he is coming back onto the field. Really big news for this FAU offense. Johnny Ford coming back out there for his first snaps since early in the first quarter. Hopefully his stomach's doing all right.
Hey, I'll say from experience, when I throw up, sometimes it gets the jitters away. You're good after. Maybe Ford's ready to go here. We got to root for it.
We hope so. And that first play goes back to him, gets a little hole, just stops short. Stop for a 2-yard gain. Second on the play. Nkosi line shotgun formation, 4 receivers to his left, hands off to Ford again, tries to make one-man miss. It's so easy to lose him in that pile up there, but Johnny Ford is stopped for no gain on the play.
Yeah, what you cannot do here if you're FAU is you stop them, you get this big momentum, and then you're sending your defense right back out. They need to get a first down here.
3rd and 8. Here to go. 4 minutes left on the game clock.
And the clock's been ticking. So you're talking about it's only been a minute and a half since that defense has been on the field.
It's been a very quick first half up to this point. A lot of rushing plays by both teams, keeping this clock ticking.
Yeah, that too, Jay. I mean, this game is a 6:30 start. It's 7:15, and we're about to end the half.
Which is really unusual from college football, a much slower pace usual. We have Nkosi line up, shotgun formation, looks right, fakes a throw, tries to rush, and ultimately only gets 4 yards on the play before he's shoved into that Marshall sideline.
Yeah, that was tough for Nkosi. He didn't really have anybody open. He did a great job scrambling and getting the ball over to the sidelines, gaining at least a few yards. Now it's 4th and 3. I don't think they're going to go for it here. No, it looked like the offensive line was trying to push the punting team back on. They're like, go away. But no, it's too risky here to do that halfway at the middle of the field.
It's got to be frustrating if you're an FAU offensive player. You know you've had success against this Marshall team. 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. You're in great position the majority of the game. Ultimately stopped here on the 50-yard line as the punt goes up.
And if you know he can punt like that.
Oh, it was another almost near just as good play on the punt coverage as it was last time. However, it goes straight through his hands and results in a touchback. So Marshall will be taking over on the 20-yard line.
So look through the Conference USA today, which FAU will no longer be a part of in a few years, I may add, unlike Marshall. Old Dominion currently beating FIU 7-0 after 3 minutes of play. Not shocking. The 3 fans at FIU must be really upset. UAB beating Louisiana Tech 52-38. They did actually. North Texas beat Southern Miss 38-14. Charlotte with an OT victory after losing to FAU big last week. They beat Rice 30-24 home overtime. And Western Kentucky beat Mid Tennessee 48-21. And then so then we have our game, and then later tonight at 10:15, the big game between UTSA 8-0 at UTEP 6-2. And this will be from the Sun Bowl in El Paso. This game was going to be on ESPN. Game day was going to go there, and FAU spoiled the party last week. So FAU playing spoiler a little bit here.
You love to see it, and that's a huge matchup with huge Conference USA implications, just as much as this game does. I believe that game is the top 2 teams in the western side of the Conference USA.
Yeah.
What we're watching here in front of us is the top 2 teams in the eastern side of Conference USA. So for the conference as a whole, it is a huge day with huge implications going forward from the games. So now we have this Marshall offense back onto the field, led by quarterback Grant Wells. Shotgun formation. His running back, Rasheen Ali, is set up to his right. Has 3 receivers, 1 tight end also to his right. As his tight end, Xavier Gaines, comes across the middle to the left side of the screen. Grant Wells snaps the ball, fakes the handoff, looks right, looks over the middle, has his target, and he's still going. Down the sideline, big pickup from this Marshall offense, bringing them down to the 40-yard line. That was, again, number 12 tight end Garrett Morrell with the big game there, bringing them back from the 20-yard line all the way out to their 41-yard line.
And you can tell FAU playing a long pass. Quarterback's kind of faking if he was going to go long. Little dump off there. That's what got them yards.
And another dump off here for a big gain by Grant Wells, passing to his running back, Rasheen Ali. Another first down to the play. Gets across the field into FAU territory, bringing the ball to the FAU 44-yard line. We have a few huge plays by this Marshall offense, both through the air, both shorter passes to pick up back-to-back first downs here.
Yeah, I got to say, FAU should not be playing prevent defense here. I would say stick to what you've been doing. They've been kind of leaving the middle of the field open on these last 2 plays. Clock ticking down right now. It's going to be 2 minutes
Grant Seat receives the snap, has an FAU rusher coming towards him, is hurried in his throw. The ball is dropped. Great hit there by the FAU linebacker. Bring up second down.
And that was Antarius Moultrie. He has been a revelation for this FAU defense. He's a redshirt freshman, got the start in week 1 over a seasoned veteran here at FAU. Now he earned his spot. He's been starting every week.
Great play by him. Now Marshall lined up shotgun formation here. Looks down middle of the field. Had his receiver open again over the middle of the field. As somebody just said, this middle of the field has been wide open that FAU is leaving. And he had his man there. His man ultimately drops the ball. That was wide receiver number 0, Shahid Ahmed, the leading receiver, or the third leading receiver for this Marshall offense here. Drops the ball, bring up a 3rd and 10. Marshall running quickly, lines up shotgun formation. Grant Wells with his running back Ali alongside it to his left. They came up quick to the line, snap the ball, now slowing things down a little bit. Wells looks to the sideline, walks up to his offensive lineman. Ali is now to his right. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Snaps the ball, looks left, has a man open, and is dropped. Another drop by this Marshall receiving core, bringing up a 4th and 10.
FAU is awfully.
Snaps the ball, looks left, has a man open, and is dropped. Another drop by this Marshall receiving core, bringing up a 4th and 10.
FAU is awfully lucky. This same thing. It was like watching deja vu on that defense. Middle of the field, left open, and that's twice in a row. Marshall had the completion. Receivers couldn't make the catches, and FAU getting a little bit of a break here.
Now that time, the corner there was able to get his hands in there last second on the play, but it's inexcusable for the receiver to be that open in the first place.
Yeah, and this is 3 times now for Marshall that they've had receivers. They get it right in the numbers, in the chest, and they aren't making the plays. So maybe Marshall, getting a little messed with this FAU crowd, FAU defense.
Now Marshall here setting up the punt. LaJonte Wester deep elects to not receive the punt. Friendly punt or friendly bounce for this Marshall punting team. Looks like the ball goes out of bounds on the FAU 10-yard line, where FAU will be coming back out to start up on offense.
And again, what better way would it be for FAU to go into the half? Again, if it's just a field goal, go in with something positive as you're going into this half. You're only down by 1, so even if you don't score, you're only down by 1. You can see where you need to improve, yada, yada, yada. But going into halftime with that lead is what this team wants.
2 big differences in the throwing game so far for both these teams. Grant Wells, 13 for 20, 154 yards, whereas Nkosi hasn't had many looks yet. 3 of 8 yards and a touchdown. Nkosi now setting up shotgun formation, snaps the ball, looks left, doesn't have anybody open, has to scramble outside, gets hit as he's going out of bounds, and is stopped for a 2-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, that's 2 plays in a row for Nkosi where he's forced to scramble. I don't think that play was what was supposed to happen. He had nobody open. So, yeah.
He had Mitchell Patton there in the flat. It would have been roughly about the same amount of gain there, but down the field, nobody was wide open. This Marshall defense is doing a good job at containing the wide receivers of this FAU offense. Now, Nkosi lines up shotgun formation. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Larry McCammon in the backfield alongside him. Snaps the ball, drops back, looks over the middle of the field, has a man deep! Laquan Burton just overthrown. It was a near picture-perfect pass, picture-perfect route, just out of the grip of number 82, Laquan Burton.
It's not much more you could say than that, Jay. That would have been a tremendous catch. He was sprawled out his body. He was diving, and it went through his arms as they show the replay on the video board. Man, what an unfortunate. I mean, listen, great play call, though. Do that again.
Looking at the replay, Nkosi, I don't know if he could have placed any better with that sky pass, but now we have to set back up, shotgun formation. Hands the ball off, interestingly, on 3rd down, and is stopped for a short gain. Larry McCammon gains just 2 yards on 3rd down. Interesting decision there.
Yeah, and I get it's 3rd and 8 a little bit. I think really just anything but that play call. I just don't understand how on 3rd and long on your own side of the field, how you're running the ball, especially after you almost hit that pass. And I was just about to say, if Perry can make a throw at that distance, at that accuracy, why are we not seeing these play calls throughout the game? They've been limiting Perry this entire first half from really doing much of anything. If he can make those throws, because that was not on Perry, that drop, that was just out of the receiver's reach. So I think they need to be going to Perry a little bit more.
The only thing that I can think about is why they don't do that more often is the offensive line not giving Perry enough time. We've seen multiple times Perry had to scramble. Only one of those scrambles has amounted much. The rest of them have been throwaways or dump offs for him running it for a couple yards. This FAU offensive line is able to maintain, give Perry some time. He has the ability to hit these throws. Now, with that decision to run the ball on third down, bring up a fourth down, there's a minute 13 left in this half where Marshall is going to be getting the ball back with decent field position. Now, Hale gets the kick off. It's a shorter kick that is returned, has a block, gets the outside. 35-30 is ultimately pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line where Marshall set up a great field goal position, or just field position in general, excuse me.
You cannot be missing tackles like that on kick returns, punt returns. Inexcusable right there. It kind of looked like on Madden when you hit the hit stick button by accident. It's kind of what it looked like just there.
So you mean the only thing I do when I'm on defense?
Yeah, right.
If you're not going for a fumble, I don't know what you're doing. And my friend Andrew can attest to that. I give up a lot of points. But now back to the real action. There is a minute, 1 second left to go in this first half. Marshall sets up on the 30-yard line, fakes the run play, hits his receiver out in the flat. Again, poor tackling by this FAU defense. Had him short, had him for a short 1 or 2 yard gain. But the ball gets out now for a 7-yard gain as we see a FAU defender is down the play with the training staff coming out to help him. 46 seconds left to go in the first half as the training staff attends to him. We will take a break. We will be right back. And we're back. The defensive lineman that was injured there was number 92, Marcel Southall, ultimately able to rush off under his own power. Sorry, the ref there was just announcing something that I was unable to hear. Marshall now lining up second and 3 on the FAU 21-yard line. Grant Wells gets the ball, hands it off to Ali, fakes the end around, gets the outside, has a block. Touchdown, Marshall.
I was about to say, watch out for the run. What else are you going to do on 2nd and 4? I was going to say, watch out for the run. FAU is not prepared for that whatsoever.
Great blocking again on the outside and great blocking for the receiver there. It was just the receiver, the defender, and, of course, the running back, Rasheen Ali, just crosses the goal line for his second touchdown of the game, his 9th touchdown on the season. This is going to, assuming Marshall makes the extra point, going to result in a 21-13 lead. However, we do have another FAU player down, just out of bounds on the Marshall sideline. However, training staff still out there, and the play will have to hold. But and this Marshall offensive line has really come up and stepped up.
Yeah, and this is also what happens when you get big stops on defense and then you don't come back and score at all. And when that happens over and over again, your defense is going to get tired. They're out on the field more. That first quarter, FAU had a lot of ball control because other than that kick return, Marshall wasn't really putting drives together. This quarter, Marshall has been holding onto the ball more, rushing more, getting bigger plays. There's big gaps in coverage in the middle of the field. It's almost like Jekyll and Hyde with FAU between the first and second quarter today.
Yeah, both sides of the ball for FAU really flattened out in the second quarter here. Now, the player who was injured was FAU's third leading tackler on the season, Achilles Leroy. Again, was able to run off under his own power. And here's we have a stoppage play. I believe it's going to be some sort of review. So maybe look to see whether he stepped out of bounds before scoring the touchdown. However, as things stand, Marshall is up 20-13 with 37 seconds left to go in this half. We will be right back. The call and play did stand a very short review there. So Marshall is now up 20-13 with 37 seconds left to go in this first half. Now the extra point will be attempted. It is up. It is good. Marshall takes an 8-point lead here. 21-13, 37 seconds left to go in the second quarter in a very quick first half. And Jacob, something we were just talking about, the FAU team as a whole had a really good start of the game, especially on offense, scoring 13 points in that first quarter. However, since then has allowed 14 points unanswered and has looked a much weaker version of itself.
Yeah, just I said like Jekyll and Hyde. It's you've got a team that was holding Marshall back, pinning them back in the one side of the field. They weren't getting anything going, and then we were even asking up here what happened to this number 7 offense in college football, and now we're seeing what that is. They're persistent, they move the ball, and they take advantage in lapses of coverage, and that's what's been happening to FAU today.
Yes, now we see with 37 seconds left to go in the half whether FAU can amount anything or will ultimately take any getting the ball back here. However, we are set up to receive the ball with Jonte Webster. Actually, sorry, I think that's Jaquan Burton lining up to receive the kick. The kick is received, and he elects to take it. And there is nothing at all there for the return man. Jaquan Burton only getting out to the 10-yard line. No blocks were set up. FAU starting up here on their own 10-yard line. Hard to see us take too many chances here at the end of the half.
Yeah, probably just especially with how this offense has been run today where they're not really taking any chances to begin with. And also a little tidbit here about that last touchdown for Marshall. Rasheen Ali, his 6th multi-touchdown game of the season.
He was a big part of this Marshall offense as the season's gone on. FAU is unable to contain him. Now the offense is coming up in lined up shotgun formation. Larry McCammon alongside Nkosi Perry gets the handoff, makes a man miss on the outside, but is tackled out of bounds out to the 15-yard line for a gain of 5.
Yeah, I think I just don't see the FAU being very bold here. I think they're going to keep running the ball.
I think it's going to be a lot of the same. Either QB run, give it back to Larry McCammon. Larry McCammon kind of throwing me for a loop here, wearing number 1 today instead of his normal jersey number. Gets the ball again, running it up the middle, and is another minimal gain, bringing up 3rd and 2. Interested in seeing if Marshall calls a timeout, maybe. But there's no timeouts by either side. The clock is ticking down from 10 seconds. Both teams appear to be content going to the break. And yes, the FAU offense running off the field. So as the quarter ends, as the half ends, Marshall is up 21-13 over FAU. We will be back in 20 minutes with FAU receiving the ball. We will be right back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to FAU Owl Radio for this second half between Marshall and the Florida Atlantic Owls. We are here for the second half. It is 21-13 Marshall in the first half. 216 total yards for FAU, 168 on the ground and 48 in the air. And for Marshall, it was opposite. They had less rushing yards with 56. Passing, they had 161 yards for a total of 217. So these teams were a yard apart, but they're apart on the scorecard, as we're going to start off here with a touchback. FAU going to get the ball at around the 25.
The big difference from this FAU offense from the first quarter to the second quarter, where they succeeded really well in the first and had little to nothing in the second, was when Johnny Ford went down. As soon as Johnny Ford went down, the offense also went down with him. He did eventually come back in the game, but through the first quarter, he had 72 yards, finishing that first half at 77. So it didn't do too much, but he did come back in the game. It's interesting to see what his production here in the second half is. We know he's battling a stomach bug. Right now, he is in the game, lined up at receiver. Coach Perry, shot formation. Nobody in the backfield with him. Snap the ball.
Getting Coach Gilmore involved.
Hits the pass for a 6 or 7 yard gain. And you're absolutely right. We do need to get Nkosi a lot more involved here. The passing game, when he's given time, has looked good. That's the only issue, though, is he hasn't had much time to throw the ball. Now goes again, shotgun formation again, empty backfield, looks right. Now goes again, shotgun formation again, empty backfield, looks right, runs the ball up the middle, does make one man miss with a spin move, but is going to be short, just the line of gain. 3rd and 1 coming up here. Now the ball is set up on the FAU 35-yard line. Nkosi Perry again, shotgun formation. This time Johnny Ford is alongside him in the backfield. Ball snap immediately is handed off to Johnny Ford. Does a spin move, easily gets the first down with a gain of 3 here. First down FAU.
They're starting to move the ball here just a little bit.
You gain the ball first here in the second half. However, very contrasting events in the beginning of the first half, with Marshall taking the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. FAU now has the ball on offense with Nkosi setting back, shotgun formation. Hits his receiver for a gain of 7. That's Johnny Ford with the catch there on play, bringing the ball to the FAU 45-yard line.
Getting in the pass a little bit, Ford is, and it's nice to have him as a dual threat there, making the catch and gaining a few yards.
Ball placed on the FAU 45-yard line. 2 yards to go for a first down. Nkosi shotgun formation. Johnny Ford alongside him. Hands the ball off to Johnny Ford. Gets a good block and is another first down for this FAU offense.
Offensive line pushed him just as much as he needed there.
It's a good rhythm to start off the first half. The second half. Get multiple first downs here. Running the ball, getting it into your best offensive weapon's hands with Johnny Ford running it a few times, tossing the ball out there. Nkosi shotgun formation. Now I believe Kelvin Bean in the backfield, who gets the ball, runs up the middle for a gain of 4 on the play.
He's running consistently 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards, 9 yards. So you can keep getting these small runs over and over again. You grind the clock away. Again, like I said last quarter, you don't want Marshall's offense on the field.
Nkosi fakes the handoff, looks over the middle field, has the receiver, and had just one man to beat. That is his leading receiver, LeJohntay Webster, with the catch, bringing the ball to the Marshall 32-yard line and another FAU first down.
I believe it was Abraham Boatland, the linebacker on the tackle.
Yeah, FAU decided to cut you off there, Jacob, as they were running the ball quickly. However, it was no gain on the play, bringing up second down, as you were saying, Jacob.
Yeah, no, if he had not made that tackle, he made it with one arm, essentially, wrapped his arm around Webster, I think Webster would have been gone.
Yes, and that was Webster's 3rd catch on the game in the first half. He was their leading receiver, only though in 2 catches and 21 yards there now, about sitting around 40 yards on the day. Nkosi lined up shotgun formation. Davidson again in the backfield with him, snaps the ball, drops back, has pressured, makes a man miss, is looking to the right, has a man down the sideline, but just throws out of bounds. He could have had a touchdown there if he let the ball into the end zone, bring up a third down on the play.
And I don't think Perry was really looking at this side of the field, but Brandon Robinson was pretty much wide open. Perry was angled the other way. I don't think he even saw him.
It's a hard throw to make on the run, even if you were. However, we saw last week in the same spot, same throw, almost, I believe maybe the same receiver. He hit a man for a touchdown, not able to come up with it this time. Now it's going to be 3rd and 11. Nkosi lines up shotgun formation with the empty backfield, drops back, looks over the middle of the field. 2 rushers collide together to sack Nkosi on the play. Again, this FAU offensive lineman is beat.
Yeah, they just collapsed there. And Nkosi had nobody open. He couldn't scramble anywhere, and it's a loss.
Now, you have a quarterback that can move his feet. It's incredible to see how often he does hit the deck. Coming into this game, he's been sacked 18 times. I believe this is the 3rd sack for this Marshall defense, bringing his total now to 21 times being sacked on the season.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it goes without saying that is not.
And imagine if he didn't have the wheels that he had. You can imagine where it is. Now, Matt Hale with the punt. Punted deep. Again, the return let it go. And it is almost stopped again, but ultimately the ball does go in the end zone. Marshall will be taking over on offense on their own 20-yard line. 11 minutes, 2 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter. Marshall is getting the ball up 21-13. We will be right back. Or sorry, Jacob does have one thing to say though. Okay, just kidding. We are going to break. And we return to 11 minutes, 2 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Marshall taking the ball over on their own 20-yard line after the FAU team comes out and punts it with their first possession. Now Marshall snaps the ball, looks right to hit his receiver, however, goes through his hands again. We've seen a lot of drops here by this Marshall wide receiving corps.
Yeah, we have. And I was going to go back to even FAU on that mishap on the punt before about not keeping it in bounds, pinning Marshall back. That's happened when things like that happen once. You say, "Oh man, you got to make that play next time." When something like that happens twice, when you had 2 very high chance opportunities to pin them back and you don't do it, that's a lack of concentration.
Brantwell lines up shotgun formation. FAU gets pressure up the middle, but he's able to scramble out to his right side, hit his running back, Rasheen Ali, for a huge gain on the play, bringing the ball out to the FAU 40-yard line. That's a gain of 20 on the play.
Yeah, again, who was in anywhere in the area? They dropped it off to him in an empty part of the field, and that's what you're going to do when you got empty yardage. You're going to run.
This FAU defense is making the Marshall quarterback, Grant Wells, look like a Heisman hopeful based on how much time he's having. And when he gets outside the pocket, he's dumping it off really for short yards. However, their receivers are in open space, able to take the ball. Now, again, it snaps the ball. Again, is a dump off. Again, no man is out there. However, FAU was able to corral and limit the gain only to a 4-yard gain on the play.
And listen, this game, it's tough to say this as an announcer but if this game is lost by FAU, you're not going to win this side of the conference. And it's really as simple as that. If you let Marshall score here and they pull away with a 2-touchdown lead, I don't know if that's recoverable tonight.
FAU receiving the ball, of course, not doing anything with it. Marshall was able to take this ball down for a touchdown. It would be a huge demoralizer. Now Marshall sets up a screen and is past the receiver who passes it back to Rasheen Ali. A really risky play, but ultimately leads to nothing and leads to a actually loss of one on the play. So, Jacob, that was an interesting play to watch, but ultimately didn't lead to anything.
Yeah, well, sometimes you're going to see some cool stuff on a football field, and that was one of those times. Didn't really amount to anything like you said, but now it's a 3rd down and 8.
It was very similar to the two-point conversion the Dolphins ran last year, where they snap it out to the receiver, passes to the running back, and they were able to convert that 2-point conversion. However, Marshall here able to come up with no gain on the play. Now we're set up 3rd and 8 on the Marshall 43-yard line. Grantwell snaps the ball, pressured by this FAU defense, and again, he's able to hit his running back, Rasheen Ali, for a huge gain. Again, a very short route run by Rasheen Ali. However, Rasheen Ali proving why he's one of the top running backs in the country with a 23-yard gain on the play.
This is deja vu. Since the second quarter started, this has been Marshall's playbook. Dump it off into the empty parts of the field. The entire middle of the field is open every single time that the ball is thrown. It's unbelievable.
Grantwell gets the snap and hands it off to the backup running back getting some time here. That's running back Sheldon Evans, who gets the carry. 1 yard loss in the play, bringing up a 2nd and 11. However, these short runs that FAU are holding to ultimately don't amount for anything if they're the ball off and gain 20 yards.
No, it's like I said, lack of concentration, not being able to pin Marshall back, not being able to cover parts of the field you're supposed to cover. Just easy things, simple thing. And that's a beautiful player by number 24, Zion Gilbert. He's one of the stars of this defense, but they're getting individual plays on defense that are nice. As a unit, they're not playing well at all.
Zion there, like you said, with the great pass deflection. Grantwell's drop back, looks to his right, and attempts to get his receiver, Stone, start Selly. Ultimately, great coverage on the play. Now setting up another 3rd down. FAU needs to convert here. 3rd and 11. Marshall set shotgun formation. Grantwell's with his running back, Rasheen Ali, to his left. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right.
We don't have a play clock up here, but I would assume it's coming. Okay, no flag.
Grantwell gets the ball, drops back. A great pressure by this FAU team, and a great corral on the outside, bringing up a 4th down here. No gain on the play.
Humongous stop for FAU. It keeps them alive, hopefully for just a little bit longer. We'll see what Marshall does here on 4th down. It obviously looks like they're going to give it up here.
Yes, that would be the wise decision here. 4th and 11, try to pin FAU deep. The team they're kind of lingering. However, they do look like they're walking off the field now.
I mean, it's 4th and 12. You're not giving FAU the ball at a terrible spot, especially considering how they moved the ball today. It is an interesting concept. Will they do it? Will they not?
And with the play clock going down here to 5-6 seconds, Marshall's going to be forced to either call a timeout or allow the clock to drain, resulting in a flag on the play, which would give them a little bit more punting room. And that is what they're going to do. There's a delay of game on the play, which is going to give them more cushion. And FAU also does decline mentally. So interesting gamesmanship there by both sides. Marshall letting the clock run out, and FAU saying, nah, we're good. So now the Marshall punter comes out onto the field. That is number 43, Robert Lefebvre, redshirt sophomore from Hilliard, Ohio. I probably just butchered that name. It's okay.
Yeah, Robert Lefebvre would be my guess. I really go check on that.
So we have a false start penalty on the play. So interesting to see that FAU accepts this 5-yard penalty. The referees are huddling together. So there is some discussion as to what the call is going to be.
Yeah, Marshall's head coach is waving no on the sidelines. The entire coaching staff for Marshall's on the field. So is FAU's. So there's referees on both sides talking to each coaching staff. That's what's going on.
So the offense was called for an offside. Now, that is one of the more rarer calls we see in sports. And again, the gamesmanship by Willie Taggart declining the 5-yard penalty to keep the ball on the 36-yard line to make it a little more challenging punt. Now, the punt is finally off after 3 attempts. And wow, it is a beauty of a punt by this Marshall team. The ball is down at the 1-yard line. FAU is going to have 99 yards to go if they like to score 6, which at this point, FAU is in a drastic need of a touchdown. Of a score in general, have not scored since the first quarter. We have Marshall 21, FAU 13, 6 minutes, 53 seconds left to go in the third quarter. We will be right back. FAU now comes back on their own 1-yard line. Nkosi Perry under center here. And it's just QB sneak to try to give some room for the FAU offense. And it worked about as good as you could want. It looks like a 2 to 3 yard gain on the play. But we do have an FAU offensive lineman down the play who seems to be in pain. If I can see that correctly, that's offensive lineman number 79, Kamar Bell, who's down on the play. As the training staff comes out to tend to him, we'll be waiting on a FAU 2nd and 10 from their own 4-yard line. We will be right back.
Oh my God.
And we are back here. The offensive lineman is ultimately able to walk off under his own power. However, that means we will have a backup offensive line in there and the already struggling offensive lineman. It's 2nd down and 8 to go on the FAU 3-yard line. Nkosi Perry again under center. James Charles in the backfield behind him. Snaps the ball, fakes the handoff, looks deep down the field, and overthrows his receiver. Bold play there. Jaquan Burton was the target on the play, bringing up 3rd down.
I mean, if it was inbounds, it would have been a heck of a catch, but it was out of bounds, unfortunately.
Jaquan was the only route runner on that play, and you go play action, try to hit pass someone down the field that would have got out roughly to the FAU 25-yard line, giving a 1st down and getting them out of the shadow of their own end zone, which is really key for them right now. At the very least, to give space for your punter. You'd hate to see a blocked punt in this situation, but Nkosi Perry lining up in shotgun formation, nobody in the backfield with them. Now Larry McCammon comes alongside him. Sorry, Malcolm Davison comes alongside him. Ball snaps. Cozy looks over the middle of the field, has nobody, has to take off and scramble, and gets the first down. Great scramble there by N'Kosi Perry. Nothing downfield. The offensive line broke down again. N'Kosi picks it up, the first down.
I mean, that was fantastic scrambling ability by N'Kosi Perry there. Again, not given any target options on the field. What does he do? He's like, the only thing I can do, I got to run for the first down, and he was able to do it.
Now Johnny Ford lies back in the game. In N'Kosi with a quick hit outside to LeJohntay Burton. And that is a gain of 8 on the play, bringing them out to their own 19-yard line.
And look at that. You get a 10-yard play, now you get an 8-yard play right after. Start getting big plays, it gives confidence.
If you're not going to have a lot of time, you might as well hit these quick passes if they're open. Now snaps the ball again with a quick hitter out to the left is a wide receiver screen to LeJohntay Burton. And again, no gain on the play.
See, that's a play that I don't get. Keep going forward. I don't know why you're going laterally when you're struggling to move the ball forward.
Yeah, it looks nice when it works on a wide receiver screen, but if the corner is able to get past his defender one-on-one, just getting the ball. Now N'Kosi snaps the ball, hands it off to the running back who goes up the middle for another first down on the play. Johnny Ford back into the ball game, gets a gain of 4, bring the ball out to the FAU 23-yard line.
I mean, without the running backs, the FAU wouldn't be where they are right now. They have been carrying this offense, keeping it flowing. They have almost 100 more yards than the FAU offense does passing-wise so far tonight. So, unbelievable job by them tonight.
I really hope whatever was ailing Johnny Ford earlier, he's able to get past. Now he's seen he's been on back-to-back plays. He's now behind N'Kosi Perry, who's in shotgun formation, 2 receivers either side of him. Now Johnny Ford pulls to his left. He's now handed the ball, and a great block by his FAU offensive line, and he passed the secondary all the way out to the FAU 45-yard line.
And he was able to find a hole right there, right side off line. Was cleared an opening for him, and he was able to gain a bunch of yards.
Great play drawn up by this FAU offensive coaching staff, who was able to get a wide open hole for Johnny Ford, our best offensive weapon to run through. Now, it's unfortunate we do see a Marshall player has gone down on the play. That would be number 3 cornerback Stephen Gilmore, brothers of the now Carolina Panther cornerback Stephon Gilmore, who is also now their leading interception total on the year. So their best corner going down, and he's walking off the field as we speak, but it is aided by 2 of his training staff. Really difficult for him to walk off the field. It would be a huge miss for this Marshall defense.
It would, and you never want to see anyone go down. So, I always love seeing games finish when you got the best product on the field, so I hope he's okay.
Now, hopefully FAU is able to take advantage of whoever comes in at his place. Stephen Gilmore, as I said, the brother of Stephon Gilmore, one of the all-pro cornerbacks in the league. I say this family knows a thing or two about playing corner.
Oh, absolutely. The FAU LED lights were just going off here, and it's quite a show if you've never seen it. All of the LED lights go blinking on and off. The crowd always goes crazy for it. So if you're ever here for an FAU Owl night game, you are going to be in for a treat.
And this FAU night game is just a beautiful weather game. Now down here in South Florida, we're getting down to the 70s. We're getting down to the 60s. There's a light breeze. We can feel it here in our booth. The weather's dropping. It's a beautiful time for football. Now we bring things back. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock. N'Kosi Perry hands it off to Johnny Ford, who gets the outside, makes one-man miss, has a great block, and he's almost gone. Want to get inside, and he fumbles the football at the end of the play. What a fantastic run by Johnny Ford that looks like is going to mount. I'm not sure who that was on Marshall. Was able to get a hand in there to knock the ball out, and it is Marshall football. Wow.
Johnny Ford was celebrating essentially when he was tackled down, not realizing I got to keep control of the football. That's what I mean. Lack of concentration for this entire FAU team tonight.
And that is a huge gut check for this FAU offense and team as a whole. The Marshall player who came down with the ball, Corey McCoy, with his second fumble recovery on the season. I don't think there's any way you can argue it is Marshall's ball. Johnny Ford was in stride, got to the outside, had a nice gain of 20 to 25 yards when a Marshall defender was able to hit him from behind, knock the ball out, and as I said, Corey McCoy coming up with his second fumble recovery on the season. Marshall will be taking over now on their own 24-yard line. Jacob, that's, like I just said, a huge gut check for this FAU offense, which was finally putting something together again.
Yeah, I just it really looked like Ford thought the play was over. He was standing up as if he thought, and then, the ball was booted out of his arm. Just such a weird fumble. Usually fumbles happen in the middle of the play. Ford thought it was over. Just such a lack of concentration.
And Johnny Ford, as I've mentioned multiple times, our best offensive weapon on the team. Johnny Ford already well eclipsing 100 yards on the ground, sitting at 13 carries for 134 yards, averaging over 10 yards a carry. So every time we're handing it to him, it essentially has been a first down. And to get him in space multiple times this drive, leading to big gains in this last play there, what would have been a huge play. The crowd was going wild. It was a really big momentum swing. Could have been a big momentum swing for this FAU offense, but ultimately the ball gets handed right back to Marshall. And this offense, which has been playing really well, all well-rounded, not just one player. Grant Wells so far sitting at 206 yards. 56 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also has 6 rush off and makes back over 1st and 10, 3 minutes, 27 seconds to go. Rasheen takes this pitch on the outside. Great corralling by this FAU defense to bring up 2nd and 10, no gain on the play.
And there's Moultrie again with the tackle. He's all over the place. That's what I've been saying. You have individual performances that have been really positive for FAU today with Moultrie and Zion Gilbert, guys like that. So it's just as a whole, they've not been playing well.
If FAU can get a stop here, take the sting out of what just happened, that'd be huge. Grant Wells looks out to the outside, hits his receiver. That was his receiver, number 19, Stone Scarcelli, with his first catch on the day, bringing the ball out to the Marshall 30-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 4 now for this FAU defense. The crowd getting loud, the players down below us getting loud, getting hyped up. This will be a big 3 and out to get the ball right back after turning it over. Grant Wells lining up shotgun formation. His running back Rasheen Ali alongside him. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Receives the ball. FAU comes with a corner blitz. It's handed off to Rasheen Ali, and he just gets over the first down line, bringing it to the 35-yard line.
One more play called by Marshall. Everyone's thinking throw. Like you said, came in with the blitz, and then boom, little hand up off the net. It's an innocent play. It's an easy play. It's a simple play. But for Marshall
needed 5, got 6. She really continuing to be a workhorse for this Marshall offense, and he's again in the game to his right of Grant Wells. Grant Wells snaps the ball, looks to his right, looks down the field, has a man wide open. He hits him in stride. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Marshall. Number 1, Willie Johnson with the touchdown, his 3rd touchdown on the season. Marshall setting up a fake wide receiver screen. Willie Johnson faked the block, wrapped upfield, and was hit wide open down the sideline. No corner was able to even touch him, bringing this lead to 2 scores. Marshall is now up 27-13. What can you expect when you turn the ball over? You give the ball back to the Marshall offense with a lot of confidence, a huge head of steam. Marshall puts up an extra point to go up 28-13 with 1:51 left to go in this 3rd quarter.
I mean, play is bad, offensive is bad, offensive line is bad. They can't move the ball, lack of concentration. For a game like this, where you're battling for the top spot in the conference in the East, they have completely fumbled the bag tonight.
One thing that coaches in all sports preach control what you can control. It's kind of become just an ironic saying that you just hear from press conferences, but it's true. And the thing you want to control most is your destiny. And if you can control your own destiny, if you can take control on whether you win or win the Eastern side of Conference USA, that's huge. If FAU were to lose today, their destiny would no longer be in their hands. They would have to rely on Marshall losing at some point throughout the regular season, and Marshall would also now have the tiebreaker over FAU if they were able to pull off the win today.
Yep.
So Marshall now we have setting up on their 35-yard line, kicking it deep. Jaquan Burton set up for the return.
Look, this game is not over. You're still on 2 touchdowns. But again, FAU has not shown today that they can consistently score touchdowns. So there's nothing to tell us that within a quarter and change here that FAU is going to be able to make up this lead, and not even just that, but prevent Marshall from scoring again. So you've got to shut them out and score more touchdowns than you have in the previous 3 quarters. So this is going to be a long shot for FAU.
And we have to see somebody besides Johnny Ford produce. Outside of Johnny Ford, N'Kosi Perry has 89 passing yards, 42 of which have gone to Brandon Robinson, and 39 have gone to LaJohntay Webster, and 8 going to, you guessed it, Johnny Ford.
Oh,
nice. He attempts a pitch play that almost went horribly wrong, would have resulted in a 5-yard loss. However, good recovery there by Kelvin Dean Jr. getting the ball back. I'm sorry, Malcolm Davison there getting the ball back to the 25-yard line. So what would have been a 5-yard loss is now just bringing the ball back to the line of scrimmage. FAU is now second and 10 from the 25-yard line. N'Kosi Perry lines up shotgun formation. Davison again in the back to his left. N'Kosi gets to the ball, looks left, looks on the middle field. The pocket is collapsing again, and I believe that will be a sack. It'll be either a sack or getting back to the line of scrimmage. N'Kosi attempts to run out through the pocket and ultimately caught, bring 3rd and 10. Now with a minute tricking down in this 3rd quarter, FAU needs to score. They need to score quickly, and on top of that, they can't get the ball back to this Marshall offense. N'Kosi lines up shotgun formation. Again, Davison alongside him. Johnny Ford has not featured since fumbling the ball, so Davison alongside N'Kosi Perry. LaJohntay Webster comes from the left to the right, 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. N'Kosi drops back, looks across the middle of the field, looks and has a man deep. Jaquan Burton over the top, almost makes the catch. Another pass goes through Jaquan Burton's hands. That is very demoralizing for this FAU offense. Jaquan Burton, his 2nd ball of the day, over the top. That N'Kosi just perfectly placed. A lot of airtime on that ball. Threw it from his 20. Would have gone to the opposing team's 20. And this time, Jaquan Burton gets his hands on the ball, but it is dropped, ultimately leading to a 4th down, a 4 and out. The last thing this FAU offense needed.
I mean, to do all that, to not even – you give up the touchdown, then you come back on offense, you can't get a yard. And listen, we've been talking about it all night. It's a lack of concentration. If you're the wide receiver there, your team is down by more than 2 touchdowns, you need to make that catch. And listen, it was right in his hand. And again, football is a hard sport. I never played it. I'm not sitting here saying that I would have made the catch. But in a moment, you got to make the play and make that big play. That's why they sit where they are right now.
And N'Kosi, his stats aren't great. How it's hard to blame on him.
Well, his stats aren't great, but if some of these passes are completed, it's a lot different.
It's a lot different ball game. He gets the ball back, and a very similar play, and hits the same exact receiver over the middle of the field, wide open, was wide receiver number 1, Willie Johnson, for another big gain. Take it all the way down to the FAU 33-yard line.
Yeah, this is and now the 3rd quarter is going to end as we're going to go to commercial break here. 28-13 Marshall. We'll be back when the 4th quarter starts.
And we return back. I maintain the play-by-play call for the first or the second, third quarter. Jacob, I'm giving you the honor. You may maintain.
And the first play back, running back on a jet sweep. Gains about 8. That was number 0, Shadid Ahmed. A nice play there. Second down and 2.
I mean, if that's true, you need to stop.
Ball handed up the gut again. And he probably doesn't have enough for the first down there as he is stuffed by the FAU defense. So it'll be third down and 2. 28-13 Marshall, as a series of gut-wrenching events have put FAU in a very tough spot. And in this situation, Jacob, you're thinking bare minimum 3 points Marshall's about to put up here. Now it's about stopping 7. And
yeah, their kicker is more than capable of hitting a field goal from this range, previously hitting a 46-yarder on the year. Now we have third and 2, 3 backs in the backfield. And FAU is able to stop them. Bring up a fourth down, huge stop for this FAU defense with a gain of nothing, maybe even a slight loss on the play.
So it looks like they're going to be in field goal position here. And they're going to try and make it 31-13. Marshall will, I should say.
Their kicker, Shane Kuyuchi, has a long this year of 46 yards. He's 6 of 7 here on the year.
All right, so we'll see if he makes it. The lefty kicker on. And looks like they may be faking. And there's some sort of flag. So Marshall is celebrating on their sideline. And looks like FAU must have jumped off sides. And Marshall might be getting a first down here. Yep. Yep, so FAU jumped offside. Marshall's going to get a first down. So another gut-wrenching play where you think you have something if you're FAU, and it's taken right back.
It's a really unfortunate play there because what we saw is the kicker, the punter went up to snap the ball, and the kicker came up behind him, and then he motioned outright. So it kind of looks like a situation where the defense got fooled into thinking it could be a false start situation. However, this is a new set of downs for the Marshall offense, taking over or keeping the ball on the 21-yard line.
3 receivers on the left. Pass is caught by number 1. Tackled down by number 55. Yeah, actually, it was Jordan Helm with the tackle.
Willie Johnson there with another catch has been carving up this FAU defense with big gains throughout this second half. Of course, one leading to that touchdown earlier. Marshall now sitting up first and goal on the 7-yard line.
Hand it off. And Rasheen Ali is stuffed, and it'll be second down.
I mean, I just have to go play-by-play and stop them. They're already in a situation where they should get 3. It's about damage limitation here. And the first play coming out and holding Rasheen Ali to a loss of 3 yards on the play, bring the ball back to the 10-yard line is a good play for this FAU defense.
Second down and 10, 11 minutes and 50 seconds and ticking on the clock. Fourth quarter, 28-13 Marshall. The ball is on the 10. Handoff to Ali. Oh, no, it's tucked back and thrown. Pass caught and by number 11. Xavier Gaines by Marshall, and he was tackled near the 10.
And we do have a penalty on the play. One of the FAU defenders is pointing towards Marshall. We'll see what the call is. Number 20, Romain Mungan, making it seem like this is going to be on Marshall. The referee now with the call.
So FAU gets a little break here. Unnecessary roughness on the offense. It's going to push Marshall back to around, it looks like.
It should be the 25-yard line.
Yeah, yep, to the 25-yard line.
And based off the call, it was something that happened after the play because it is going to be a third down here. or at least the stadium is announcing it as such. However, I'm looking at the yard marker and it says second down. So I'm not sure whether that penalty was a dead ball penalty or a penalty during play. That would make a big difference. One down or second down compared to third down.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's. Yep, you were right, Jacob. Yep, the PA announcer just announced dead ball foul, so they're respotting the ball. And there you go.
Being a dead ball is a huge difference. Gives them one less down. And this being a goal-to-go situation, unless there is a penalty by the FAU defense, they have to go 25 yards to get it in the end zone. Any score here by Marshall will bring the game to a 3-possession game. This is within their kicker's range. However, it still poses a challenging kick.
And there seems to be some sort of hesitation here from Marshall as they look over to the sideline.
5 seconds on the play clock. They're going to have to burn a timeout.
And they will.
Yes, they will. Originally, I didn't see the coach over there, with everybody blending in green. However.
And you know what? This is time to shine a spotlight on Marshall. They have a great traveling fan base with them tonight. There's a sea of green next to the FAU student section. And we were talking about this in our open that didn't get broadcast on live air. But Marshall, if they win this game, they will be 8-1 against FAU all time. And in the recent conference realignment, FAU got the privilege, they got blessed, and they are going to move on to the AAC. But Marshall's going to be going to the Sun Belt Conference, which is generally considered to be a downgrade from the AAC. Now, Marshall's been around for significantly longer than FAU. They have a much larger population. A lot question, wow, why isn't Marshall moving on here? And this might give them a lot of grounding here if they're able to win this side of the conference this year, play in the conference championship game. And if they win the conference and FAU doesn't in the next 2 years, what did FAU get promoted for? What Lane Kiffin did? Because in the Willie Taggart era, if you're not going to win, what FAU team are you bringing to the AAC? So this is, they have some compelling arguments to bring to the table because legitimately, last year, FAU didn't do anything with Taggart. This year, if you lose this game, you are not going to play in the conference championship. And that's a total decline from the Lane Kiffin era. This team did not significantly downgrade when he left. It is, to a large part, there's a lot of guys on this roster that are from the Lane Kiffin era. And there's a lot of recruits that Taggart brought in from big schools, Clemson, Duke, Florida State, big guys. So there's no excuse to not win this conference. A lot of big things happening now. So now 3rd and 25, ball is snapped. Wells scrambling, throws to the sidelines and dropped by number 7, Corey Gammage. And so it's going to be 4th down.
Wells could have hit Corey almost at any point in that play. Corey stopped his route around the 15-yard line, either the 10 or the 15-yard line. He was open the entire play. However, Wells rolled out to his left, the righty quarterback rolling left, trying to find something else further down the field. Now we're going to have a 4th and goal, 25-yard line, as their kicker, Shane Ziucci, comes out with the kick. The kick is up, and it is nowhere near being good. May have even got a tip on the play. Well short. Didn't even get to the crossbar. FAU be taking over on their 30-yard line. Huge for this FAU team, keeping it a 2-score game.
Hey, I mean, we talked 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's a little bit over 2. You'll have to go for 2 on one of the plays, but you're keeping it at least a reasonable margin. Still a bit of a long shot here with 11 minutes, about 10 minutes, 51 seconds left to go. Let's see what FAU can do here. They need to score on this possession, though, because if you give Marshall another chance, that's where things get, you're giving them too many chances at that point. Eventually, they're going to put it in.
And we do have enough time. We saw last week UTEP able to score 15 points in just a minute and a half. 11 minutes left is a huge opportunity for this FAU offense. And Nkosi on the very first play is sacked. Not the start you want to see, being sacked down in his own 20-yard line. A loss 4 on the play.
Not the best way to come out here on the drive, coming after a big field goal block. Loss of about 3, ball in the 20, 10 minutes and 30 seconds and ticking.
Cozy was definitely looking deep there on the play, trying to hit for a big play, wasn't there, had to eat it, and ultimately dropped for a sack.
2 receivers on both sides. Looks like Malcolm Davidson, running back, and Cozy deals to Robinson. Pass caught for a gain of only 2 or 3 yards, and he is out of bounds.
A very modest gain, 5 yards on the play, now bringing up 5 yards to go to the first down. Do you at least get close enough to a first down here? I see FAU going for it on 4th down.
Perry, caught by Robinson again. Gets a few more yards by pushing, and he gets himself out of bounds, and it moves the sticks.
Very smart play there by Brandon Robinson. Didn't try too much to make a man miss. He was 1 yard short of the line to gain, drops his shoulder, and in the process gains an extra 4 yards, easily gaining the first down. Too often we see guys trying to make a man miss, forgetting that the object there is to get the first down on the play.
Perry scrambles, fires, downfield. Open as West. In and out of his hands.
Oh, my gosh.
Another drop pass by an FAU receiver, this time Webster. This is 3 to 4, 5. We're losing count, to be honest with you, of wide open long passes from Perry. Perfect throws in and out of the hands of receivers. And there's not much you can say other than these balls need to be caught.
We see N'Kosi Perry he has to be feeling some sort of way. He's had a few beautiful downfield throws that have been dropped by his receivers, no fault of his own. Now bringing up 2nd down and 10.
Perry keeps it. Tackled down, gain of maybe 1, probably at the line of scrimmage. And now the FAU offense is back to stagnancy. You get that one play where they give you that surprise, we're going to go deep, and now they're back to stagnant because they can't hit the big plays.
And another thing I like to point out, again, we're not seeing the uses of Johnny Ford.
Yep.
Malcolm Davidson has been on there.
Well, why would you? Because he celebrated a play that wasn't over and it fumbled. It ruined the game. So, I mean, you can't let him back on the field.
I understand, but your best offensive player in the time of need, you just hope he comes up there for you.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Perry has to scramble again, not given a lot of time, throws out, and that ball is through the hands of the corner for Marshall, kind of blocked the view of the FAU wide receiver, Jaquan Burton. Just a lot of unfortunate events going on right now.
Now, that was a ball that maybe could have been thrown more to the receiver's body than to leading him down the field, leading into the safety's coverage, and really lucky that the safety was unable to come up with the interception there. It is the running joke of why defensive backs don't play receiver. We saw it right there. He really misplayed that ball and really should have had the interception.
Listen, we got to give credit to Zach Weinberger, who wrote an article for Lemon City Live. He did the first game with me here on FAU already this season, and he predicted a Marshall win. And they came in as favorites, and really, we think the only reason for that was because FAU has this 12-game home winning streak. And if you really look at how FAU has played this year, on the road, they fumble, don't play well, and now in their biggest home game of the season, they're not playing well. So it seems like when pressure is mounted on this team, they kind of fold a little bit. And again, it's not my prerogative to be negative. It's a home-oriented broadcast. I understand that, and there's no disrespect intended. But a game like this is one that you just simply you had to make at least close. If you're going to lose, you had to put up a fight. And there's just too many things that went wrong here for me that caused a lot of long-term issues, quite frankly.
Yeah, and if you just take a look at what the Marshall offense has been able to do, this game could be a lot uglier than it has been. Their quarterback, Grant Wells, eclipsing 300 yards now, 25-37, 323 yards, and a touchdown. Rasheen Ali has been wonderful for their offense. 14 carries, 58 yards, with 2 touchdowns on the ground. And then in the passing game, Willie Johnson, 5 catches, 140 yards, has been torching this FAU defense here in the second half as Jacob displays his just beautiful dance moves that I would really love to see him on America's Got Talent.
Oh, my God.
The hammer can dance.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. And Rasheed also has 73 yards receiving. That's what I was going to say next. But great dancing, brother.
Thank you. And a flag is thrown after a run by Marshall. If it's not taken back, it would be a gain of 2 or 3. Jordan Helm with the tackle.
In the area, it looks like it'd be a holding. The offense is moving back, and in fact, it is a holding. That was a hold on the offensive lineman, number 63, James McGregor, here from all the way from Anaheim, California. The West Coast kid coming about as far away as he possibly could from his hometown to play down here in FAU Stadium.
8 minutes and 30 seconds to go. 1st and 20 at the 10-yard line for Marshall.
Now, the clock does continue to tick, which is a problem for this FAU team. 8 minutes, 18 seconds left and counting as the clock trickles down. Marshall more than happy to let this clock tick, let the play clock tick.
2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Pass is caught by number 3, and 3 broken tackles there. He's pushed another 4 or 5 yards after not being able to be initially tackled. That was caught by number 3, Caleb McMillan, and Marshall getting a little bit closer to that first down.
And a play that could have been a 4-yard, 5-yard gain. You know, either side's not too upset with that. Breaks, as you said, 2 or 3 tackles that really you got to convert on. Bringing the ball out now to the Marshall 26-yard line. So they were 1st and 20. Now they're 2nd and 4.
I mean, you get again, everything positive that happens for FAU gets taken back immediately. Another run finds a hole right side, and number 22, Rasheen Ali, gets a first down and much more than that as the ball will be spotted around the 40, Marshall's 40.
One of my keys coming into this game, what is the offensive line? What's the line of scrimmage going to look like? Both sides of the ball for both teams. FAU has not been able to maintain the pressure well on offense. Marshall's been able to get in the backfield, giving Nkosi a lot of pressure, a lot of problems. Meanwhile, Marshall is able to run the ball with ease. Their quarterback, Grant Wells, able to get outside the pocket, able to stay in the pocket, hit whoever he really wants, and create big plays.
It's 421 total yards of offense, and about to be a little bit more as he gained at least 10 on the rush. That was Ali again, handed off to the right side for a gain of about 10 or 11. So now you're talking 430-something yards of offense from Mark, 435 exactly. Again, like you just said, they've been walking over FAU today.
And it hasn't been any sort of spectacular plays. It's been a lot of fundamental football. You run the ball, you go play action, nobody's open, you hit your man short in the flat. And the inability for FAU to tackle, the inability for FAU to bust through the line of scrimmage has really given Marshall the ability to control the game.
And remember, this is 435 yards of total offense without the kick return at the beginning of the game. So you're talking, this is much worse than that, as that ball is ran up the gut and stuffed. No gain there. Clock ticking from 5:45 down. Got to give credit to the center of the FAU student section tonight. They have stuck through it. The peripheries have kind of filled out, kind of left a little bit slowly. But the people that have stayed are the loyal fans. And this is the alumni side was packed tonight. We were commenting how loud the crowd was tonight. We hadn't heard it this loud all season. And just a flop of a loss if it is to come down to that.
We hate to assume where the game's going with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock, but Marshall is dominating, getting whatever they want.
Ali run up. Again, they keep running up the gut, killing clock. Didn't mean anything, but they don't care. You're killing 30, 40 seconds off the clock every time he runs.
Now, if I was FAU, I would consider using a timeout here as the clock trickles down under 5 minutes here. 3rd down and 8. If you're to get a stop, been able to get some sort of offense going. Maybe you can put points on the board. However, the clock does continue to trickle down. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left to go.
And why? You have 3 timeouts. What are you saving them for? And there's two timeouts remaining for Marshall, 3 remaining for FAU. So they have all 3 of their timeouts. Another run, they thought it went to Ali, but Wells took it himself and went around the entire center of the defense and gained about 5 or 6 yards.
And again, you're not choosing to call a timeout, allowing additional nearly minute and a half to come off the clock. 40 seconds each time is being allowed to trickle down off the clock. Grant Wells is staying out here on offense. So Marshall is maybe trying to go for it, maybe trying to draw another 4th down offsides. However, they're staying out here. The clock goes down 3 minutes.
Well, for them, why not go for it? I mean, the game. So anyway, yeah. So Wells looking over to the timeline. It does look like a ploy here. 3, 2, 1 goes the play clock, and they'll take the flag. Or no, call out this time. So now they'll have 1 timeout remaining. Call?
Or lack of play call.
Right.
This one. I mean, you're seeing what you get. FAU's proved to be undisciplined. Offsides here. Now, you know what? Hey, what's the harm in foul? You're up 2 scores. So, you know what? We're going to try to get them to flinch. If they flinch, okay, cool. I don't know. Actually, that does look like it'd be exactly enough for a first down. But if they don't, you do exactly what you just did here. Burn one of your timeouts. You're sitting at 3 minutes, 36 seconds left to go. And you're putting the ball deep back to LaJohntay Webster set up on his own 10-yard line. Now, to try to gain any hope, I will like to point out this is when UTEP started to step up and score last week on the FAU defense, who they thought they had the ball game wrapped up. FAU punted it back to them, and they were able to take it down and score. Hopefully, we can see the same.
With college football, man, I mean, crazy things happen in these games. That ball punted, and it's going to go out of bounds around the 10-yard line. So we'll see where they split it.
Not even risking the return there. You may not have gotten the best spot. However, punting it down to the 10 or 11-yard line.
11, yep.
3.5 minutes left on the clock, forcing FAU to drive 90 yards. Field goals are not going to do FAU any sort of help here. FAU is going to be required to march down the field now and hopefully put up some points.
Yeah, I mean, listen, get a quick touchdown here. Stop Marshall 1 time very quickly. They've gotten them to get out of 3 and outs tonight. And then you go down and score another touchdown, convert 2-point conversion. There's a lane to do this. But again, they've missed 3 times tonight of catches that if they were caught would have been 40-plus yard touchdowns. Maybe they had one of those this time. Every time. And they've had that play 3 separate times. They would have had touchdowns. So you just got to hit it once.
The difference in this game, if you want to imagine, if you hit just 1,
yeah,
you hit 2.
Seriously.
You potentially hit all 3. All 3, as you said, could have been touchdowns. That last one looked most certainly like it would have been a touchdown. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, all 3 result in touchdowns. That's 21 points. That gives FAU a lead, which they have not seen since the second quarter. They lost the lead back to Marshall.
Yeah.
FAU not even putting up a single point since that first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, you go from 10-7 to 28-13, and that's quite the change in score.
And again, still Johnny Ford is not being trusted to come in the game, or maybe it's sickness related. However, he's standing right next to Willie Tiger. He wants in the game. However, James Charles is elected to be in the backfield.
Perry throws to the sidelines, called by Burton. Stops, hesitates, spins around a defender, gains a few more yards from that, and it looks like it's going to be a first down. So nice job by him. He caught it around the 20, ran around the 20, ran around the defender for a few more yards to get the first down. But the clock is still ticking here.
Yes, you get the first down, so the clock stops momentarily. However, it does continue to tick.
Perry drops back, throws deep, and caught!
Finally hits his man deep down the field. That would be receiver number 19. I believe that is TJ Chase with the catch way down the field. Sorry, that is Willy Wright with his first catch of the game, all the way down to the 21-yard line of Marshall with a flag on the play that appears to be a defensive pass interference. So that play will stand. Huge play, finally connecting deep downfield. You're just saying, Jacob, eventually they were going to have to hit one of these throws, and there we go. And the most key moment of this game, deep down the field, we hit a pass.
No, absolutely.
FAU take it all the way down to the Marshall 20-yard line.
2 minutes and 50 ticking. Ball on the 20 for FAU. Perry drops back again. Pass is in and out of the hands of Burton in the end zone. And another one perfectly placed in his hands. Would have been a touchdown if caught. The clock now stops at 2:43. And if you're in Cosi Perry tonight, man,
you got it, Matt. It hits his receiver in the hands. Is it slightly overthrown? Yes. However, what's the old adage? You get your hands on it, you got to make the catch. He got both hands on it. And if you want to play as one of the solid receivers in this team and have hopes of moving up to the next level, that is a catch you have to make.
2nd down and 10. Ball at the Marshall 20, and there is a flag. Looks like FAU is going to go to first down. Marshall jumped off sides. And we'll see the exact flag. And it is an offside. 99, Kyron Taylor. So the ball now on the 15 for FAU. 2nd down and 5. 4th quarter, 28-13. Marshall over the Owls. Perry in shotgun. Finds a hole, spins, and avoids the sack. Gains about 4 or 5 yards and is tackled right before the 10-yard line. Probably gained about 3 or 4 yards there.
As I was mentioning earlier, imagine if Nicosi didn't have the legs that he had, where would he be? Again, Marshall gets right up the middle and gets pressure in the pocket. Nicosi forced a scramble. What initially looked like it'd be a loss, does spin out of it and gains a few yards on the play.
3rd and 3. Clock ticking. No timeouts being taken by the FAU offense. Perry scrambles and is sacked.
The FAU offense for multiple weeks now have been torn to shreds by this Conference USA schedule. Not at all being able to protect their quarterback, now being sacked well over 20 times on the season. I believe that's sacked either by this Marshall defense. Nicosi Perry, he has to be a pissed off man. He's making the throws. He's trying to run around, but his receivers are letting him down, and his offensive line is letting him down.
Just unfortunate, and now FAU takes the timeout with 2 minutes left. I don't understand. I just don't understand why. Because even if you get the first down here and you're inbounds, let's say, it's not like you're driving down the field. You're just saving the timeouts for stopping Marshall when they're trying to. So I understand it, but no timeouts taken, and they've essentially burned 3 minutes off the clock before they're using any of their timeouts. So.
You really got to question Taggart's decision to not call those timeouts at the end of the Marshall drive, eating off, like I said, nearly a minute and a half. Now this timeout
and now
does
this
make
offensive
sense.
Drive too.
This timeout makes sense. However, it's a big situation for this
4th and 7. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Perry drop back, throws end zone. It's over the end zone, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. 1:55 remaining here in the 4th quarter, and now Marshall is going to try and burn some clock, have FAU burn their timeouts, and they're going to look to run out the clock here.
Yeah, that one, you might give us a little bit of the issue there. It's a Nicosi. He did overthrow the ball, but again, he doesn't have time in the pocket.
Yeah, and you can't blame him tonight. Is it an overthrow? But he could have had 4 or 5 touchdowns by now. So very frustrating night overall. 28-13 Marshall. Marshall picking it up at the 17-yard line.
First down, 10 from the 18.
Hand off to Ali. He ran to the side, then tried to run through a hole, but he stuffed. So
Rashid Ali.
FAU has the ability to stop the clock twice. Willy Taggart deciding to use one of those timeouts right now, which will leave us with 1 with a minute 47 left to go. Jacob, where this would be a huge loss for multiple reasons. Most notably, the standings, but more sentimentally, this would end the home winning streak that we've had now across multiple seasons.
Yeah. And, this is what I'm saying is you're about to go to the AAC. Next season is about to be the final season that this team plays in the Conference USA. Like I said, and it might sound harsh and it might be radio talk or whatever, but you know what? We'll avoid the conversation. Listen to our show, Strictly Sports. It will be uploaded on this YouTube channel, and it will be live on FAU Owl Radio on Monday at 12, where we're going to dissect this game a little bit more freely. Jacob will be on the show with me along with Zach Weinberger. For now, we're going to stick to the game itself, and we're going to go around the College Football League right now. So Michigan State got upset today. They were in the top 4 rankings, and now they're going to be out of those top 4 rankings. Purdue has played upset twice this year. Alabama winning 20-7 in the third quarter against LSU. Iowa up 14-3 on Northwestern. Kentucky losing to Tennessee 24-21 at half. As Wells, QB runs it, gains about 1 or 2, and FAU is going to take, or the clock's still running, and now FAU is going to take the timeout. So they let 4 or 5 more seconds burn and then took the timeout. So Boise State putting together an upset effort at half, 16-7 over Fresno State, and Washington beating the number 4 overall Oregon 9-3 with 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Michigan up 17-7 against Indiana with 2.5 minutes left to go in the first half. So now that situation's interesting. Georgia blew out Missouri 43-6. Ohio State, a little bit of an upset alert, a little bit in that game, but Ohio State beat Nebraska 26-17. North Carolina came up with the biggest upset win of the year in the ACC. They beat Wake Forest 58-55. Illinois with the upset win over Minnesota today, 14-6. Cincinnati barely beating Tulsa 28-20. TCU in their first game without the head coach in 21 years with upset win over Baylor 30-28, and then Texas A&M beating Auburn at home 20-3. So those are all the big games today, and also Arkansas beating the ranked Mississippi State 31-28. So now Wells running with it again, gains about 6, and he's just been taking it quarterback keeps. Doesn't get the first down here, but now has no timeout. Clock ticking down from 1:20. And they're going to run another play here, and it would end it theoretically with the first down. So we're going to – actually, it would. So
yes, but I fully expect Marshall to come out and punt, but in no rush to have their players come onto the field. 17 seconds left on this play clock. It's going to leave the game clock roughly around 49 seconds, if my math is correct. So FAU is going to get the ball with roughly 40 seconds left in this game. A tall ask for this FAU offense, which already hasn't produced too much on the day.
So Marshall takes him out, 48 seconds left.
Tonight's electric game is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers.
And so
This one's been a lot of a bummer. Us personally, we had a really strange start to the game.
Yep.
Thinking we were talking to you beautiful people, blessing your ear gates with our words. However, wasn't to be. But thankfully, we were able to come up here with the YouTube stream. And Jacob, I just want to say I've been very glad to be a part of this with you. This is your last ever football game. I'm sorry that FAU hasn't made it as glorious as it should be, but I know you've done a lot of work with this university. Even though I became part of the program, you've done a lot of work with the student radio, with the sports radio department. So being part of your last game, it means a lot to me. And I hope I can, as you said in our text messages, take the torch and run with it after this game. No,
Jacob, I really appreciate that. And, it's a bit bittersweet. I've been doing these games since I was 18 years old. Now I'm 21, graduating from college. It's been a journey. I've loved every second of it. I appreciate everybody who's listened to my podcast too, that have been taken from Owl Radio, and all the podcasts, all the people that have listened to me over the years, whether that's FAU baseball or football. I've enjoyed every second of it and bringing some happy moments to everybody's life. Jacob, it was great doing this game with you. I knew I wanted to do a game with you before I graduated, and you will do a great job. I'm passing the torch to you. And this guy, folks, is going to be the new face of FAU Owl Radio for the next few years. Luke Finnemore passed the torch to me. Now I'm passing it to Jacob Kelly. And I've got my last 41 seconds of FAU football here as Perry scrambles, runs, and he will gain the first down, it looks like, as the clock ticks.
Now the clock does stop at 34 seconds for the chains to move into position. However, quickly again does start, and Nkosi snaps the ball, spikes into the ground. 28 seconds left to go.
And listen, if there's any students that are either listening live right now or listening on replay, if they find me somehow, join FAU Owl Radio. This is the place to be. It's absolute gold mine. You just get to walk here. You get to broadcast football games in a beautiful stadium. You get to go to a basketball team that's so talented, a baseball team that wins every year. It's such a valuable experience for students. You get to put it on your resume and just get it's just so fun. Apart from the serious aspects of it, it's just so fun. And again, I've enjoyed every second of it. And I hope that more students carried on. I really do.
And really, just backing up what he just said, I had a moment where I was part of the radio program 2 years ago before the world ended with COVID. But just coming back here, I've only been part of the program for 5 months now. And it's, like he just said, it's so much fun. You're living, a lot of people just can live your dream. You love sports, you love talking. You never know. Even if it's something that you've never done before, something you don't know whether you'd be good at. You never know, so you go out and take that opportunity. You can be in this seat right here. You can be in the seat you'll see us in and hear us on Monday with our sports radio show. You never know the opportunities that can come from it. And it's just a really wonderful environment that I've been a part of these last 5 months. That, again, just big thanks for you for bringing me along this way, helping me learn, bringing me this my third game this season. I would have been thrilled and happy to have just done one of these games, but being able to do 3 games, watching our Owls play. Now, unfortunately, this one isn't probably going to go the way we'd have liked. However, the other 2 wins, of course, over FIU and last week against UTEP were big, and I really enjoyed myself.
Is that not a sign? I mean, you get the 2 wins, I get the loss. I mean, come on here. But I'm still with you with the loss, and like I said, I'm very thankful to be part of this with you as the clock trickles down 2-1. FAU gets the ball off. It's not going to matter at the end of the day. This is kind of just do whatever you want. We'll see what happens as FAU pitches the ball around, and fittingly, I think the ball finishes in Nkosi Perry's hands as he was trying his best, our best performer today. But FAU does fall 28-13 against Marshall. Jacob, I was, again, very happy to be on this broadcast with you. This is your last, so I'm going to stop talking. Whatever you'd like to say, the floor is yours. Hey, well, I don't want to have a soliloquy up here, but again, thank you to everyone who's listened to me over the years. It's been an honor. I'm still going to be doing YouTube, podcasts, everything like that. Subscribe to the channel. And listen, I'm going to be here as an FAU alumni next year. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be firing takes off on Twitter, and I'm always going to remember my time here with FAU All Radio. So thank you to everyone who listened, and good night to everyone. FAU falls tonight 28-13. The next game against Middle Tennessee at home will not be broadcast on FAU All Radio. It will be Thanksgiving week. We wish everyone a happy holiday season. FAU basketball this year will be broadcast by Jacob Kelly and company this season. FAU baseball will be back. Maybe, just maybe, I come back for a game or 2 for that. I really want to, but hopefully we'll see what happens. Basically keep following FAU Owl Radio. Follow them on Twitter at FAU Owl Radio. FAUOwlradio.com is the link to the radio station. You can listen to us on Strictly Sports Live, 12 to 1 on Monday. Next semester, him and Alicia Hayes are going to have their own radio shows, new programming on FAU Owl Radio for students, by students. It's what we're trying to produce here at FAU, and I hope all of you take a listen. So, again, good night, everybody, and I hope you have a great holiday season. Peace out.
Well, I mean,